morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Corner Podcast. I'm Ahlam, I'm your host today, and today we have two special guests. I actually asked you a question on our Instagram page to guess who our guests are, and most of you you guessed it. I think they are famous. So, our guests are Dr. Fethi, and we have Kelley Bodwell. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
We're super excited to be here. And finally, it's like we're at the other side of the table.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
So how are you doing, guys?
Good. Yeah.
Living, surviving, but trying to stay productive as much as we can.
Enjoying the start of summer, going to the beach and eating ice cream, just enjoying. It's so nice. Crepone.
Yeah, she tried crepone. Yeah, she tried crepone and
Yeah.
she really liked it. And it's I think it's a Wahran signature ice cream because you wouldn't be finding it in other countries. Maybe under another name or like with different flavors. But
Stop talking about crepone. I need to go. I gotta go.
Bye everybody. We're going to get crepone right now.
So can you please introduce yourselves? Who's gonna start? Ladies first.
Sure.
Sure. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Kelley. I would say Anna Kelley, right?
Anna
Kelley.
Yeah.
I'm an English language teaching fellow with the U.S. State Department. So I've been here since October, and I'm teaching at École Normale Supérieure. Shout out to my students if you're listening. And I do some stuff at the ACO, and we have a podcast together where he's teaching me Darija. So I'm from the U.S. I'm from Ohio. It seems like everybody knows what Ohio is now for some reason.
Yeah.
But I lived in D.C. and then I've been here since October, and I'll be here until I don't know how long, July 2024. I don't know, just living my life in Wahran,
So you're enjoying it?
I'm loving it. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
And we've always said that we're so lucky to have you here, and we're so happy that she got to get assigned here in Wahran because I believe that's it's her city.
Yeah,
she has the vibes and the energy.
Thank you.
It's just grateful for the admission team. It's
me too.
whoever assigned
Thank you
to
so much.
Wahran.
I appreciate it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Fethi, I'm a doctor / dentist, and I'm also an English instructor. And I'm also with Kelley, as she said. We have a podcast called Fethi Ashab, and that's why I said we're so happy to be on the other side of the table. So we're always trying to, the ones making the efforts, no, it's all up to you, Ahlam. We're just going to be here chilling and answering questions. So no pressure.
No, it's fine.
So yeah, the mic is yours now.
Okay, let's talk about your podcast because it's kind of interesting.
Thank you.
Well, it's so interesting.
Thank you.
Because I listened to episode number 0. It was so great.
Oh,
it was so
thanks.
fun, entertained, and she was being herself and laughing. I was laughing with you. And the last one, episode number 1, I guess, it was great. So
Thank
it's
you.
basically what is the main goal of your podcast?
I mean,
yeah.
I could explain, I
Sure.
guess. So the idea came to me I was struck by lightning, from above. But no, it's so I want to learn Darija. And so I thought, it'd be really cool if you taught me Darija on the air because it helps me to, I was maybe that would give me more external I mean, not that I don't have motivation, but it was that would be a really fun way. Everyone can I'm publicly making fun of myself basically, but also I thought it could be an interesting way to we talked about it and we were it could be a good way to have a cultural exchange.
Yeah,
so
it's
people
instead
could,
of just teaching you
Because-
Darija words or expressions.
Because you're not just teaching her Darija.
Exactly.
You're talking about the culture.
yeah.
And again, we know that Algeria is not really well known to the around the
That's
world.
for sure.
But at the same time, we don't really know about the United States. We only have like I don't know, ideas from TV shows, movies, and they're not always true.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to make sure that we have like authentic comparison where when we talk about cultures, is it really relatable? Is it not? Is it the same as we see on TV? And again, we also like talked about how for example, for someone to learn English, it's really easy for them. They have a lot of resources online. But if someone is like, for example, a lot of people would be interested to come to Algeria and work here or volunteer here in Algeria. But they don't have the resources. They don't know. Like,
when they are trying like to learn Arabic, there's this question, which Arabic?
Thank you. Because I've already told you, like, if we go from Mohran to, for example, Annaba, the Deja sounds extremely different.
That's interesting.
But we could understand each other. Like, the context is the same. But say the words or the I don't know, idioms or the language use is a little bit different. So
sure. I mean, we've talked about how it's like basically I'm making this podcast for myself like a year ago. It's like for my past self, you know. And so hopefully it will be helpful for future Americans or other foreigners who would want to come here, who are coming here, and for them to know more about Algeria and know some Darija, I guess just this region's Darija really, but also, you know, people have asked me, like, my friends don't know, my friends and my family, and even I, like, when I was assigned to Algeria, I was like, Googled it and was like, oh, you know, it looked really nice, but I didn't know much. And then I was like, it's the biggest country in Africa. Like, how do I not know? It's right next to Morocco, which all of my, like, so many people have gone to Morocco that I know, but no one knew anything. And so I feel like when people ask me or I post things online about Algeria, people are like, whoa, like, no, people just have no idea. So I'm like, let me just make you an entire podcast so you can learn about it. So, yeah. So I hope it's, like, also like a language resource, but also it's a cultural exchange.
But also for like people who wanna learn English or improve their English, it's also like most of our conversations are in English.
So you actually are learning English and Arabic, and you know more about the culture.
The culture at the same time.
I hope it's like interesting to Algerians too.
It is.
Like that.
It is interesting.
People, it's like motivating to listen.
No, personally, I found it like interesting.
Cool, good. That's really good to know.
You're welcome.
We've also loved your podcast.
Yes.
Just
thank you.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you knew, but I was part of the ACO's podcast. It's like the first...
The podcast?
The Algerian Youth Voices. I don't know if you heard.
No, I know that you were part of the ACO.
Yeah, and we did also like US Embassy kind of program, Algerian Youth Voices. Then we stopped and we created another podcast, and we stopped. But like for me, that didn't really feel like the thing that I supposed to be doing. So... But this one is like really good, so I'm really we're really excited about this one too.
Yes, but yours is so professional and just really
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Okay, now Kelley in 3 words.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, describe yourself in 3 words. Are you getting ready?
Okay, yeah. Let me think. I guess I would say curious is one word. Maybe this is hard.
It is hard. This is like, why should we accept you?
I would say I'm a curious person. Maybe I would say like empathetic. Like I think I'm a pretty empathetic person. And maybe joyful.
You are
and hella spontaneous. Hella spontaneous also.
And positive. I feel positive vibes.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, you.
No, you.
Yeah.
Because you're just looking at me.
That's what happened when you're the host.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I think I would say competitive. Maybe determined.
Yeah. For sure.
And also curious.
So that's the link.
Yeah, that's the link.
I'm like the joyful and he's like, I'm gonna work hard. This is the time you should show.
It's the serious curious.
Yes. Kind of.
And I'm like the chaotic curious. Yep, it's so true.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, we're turning it around, okay?
How do you describe ahlam in 3 words?
3 words. Okay, let me think. Kind
Mm-hmm.
and emotional. I'm getting too emotional.
Don't cry.
No, it's okay. I'll cry. I will cry with
Oh my
you.
God.
We can cry together.
No, it's like when someone is crying, I just cry with him or with her without like even knowing why are they crying. I'm just crying.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you said kind, emotional, and I think smart.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
can.
it.
Sure.
Let's talk about college. I want you to tell me about your first day at college.
Whoa. Well, for me, it's
I can see your face.
That's a hard thing to answer because for me, I went to university. Like my parents took me, and then I stayed in a dorm. So I feel like my first day was actually like moving in to my dorm.
Oh yeah.
And I just remember, I don't know, everything felt really like there was so much possibility, I was like I kind of knew my roommate a little bit, but not that much. And so I was hanging out with some of her and her friends, and like everything just felt so like there was just like a buzz, about the possibility of like, and just being away from my parents for the first time, not like living with them anymore. It was like, wow, such a wild feeling, like just, yeah, like a rite of passage for sure. For Americans, it's it's
Freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you go to college?
It's called Ohio University.
Oh, so you stayed in Ohio?
Yeah, but it's like, so my parents, I'm from the Cleveland, Ohio area, which is northeast Ohio. But then I went to Ohio University, which is in Athens, Ohio, which is like southeast. So it's like a 4-hour drive. So it was pretty far from my parents. Yeah.
So it was like the first time you got far away from your parents?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. The first time that I lived apart from them, like I would come home for breaks, but for holiday breaks, but.
Did you have like any expectations about college and then you find,
I don't know, that's interesting. I think a lot of people, so there's a stereotype of American colleges, and especially the one that I went to, there's a stereotype that there's a lot of like partying. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm not,
no,
I'm a person who, let's just say I'll just be reading at home by myself, okay? Drinking
just
some
like
tea.
me.
I'll be doing me.
Or I'll just
like me.
Yeah, or I'll hang out with friends at a coffee shop or something. Like, I was not part of that scene. So I think I felt like that wasn't the expectation that I had for myself. So I sort of was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I had, it felt more like I was open to, like, the other things that were available, which was like less known to me. So yeah, and I feel like that's kind of my approach anywhere I go. I'm just like, let me see what like comes to me, and I will like I'm open to it. So yeah, but I think I expected to like learn a lot and make friends and like have a lot of revelations. Like my first year of college, I was like, I don't know,
Is this college?
Yeah, and just like learning so much and having a lot of epiphanies about myself and stuff. So yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Talking about like partying and stuff, like the stereotype about the school that I went was like the most serious people ever.
Really?
So, medical school here is like people who are born to
born to work.
study,
Born to work.
to work. I was in the dentistry department, and for no apparent reason, I've never seen myself doing dentistry. Like before I passed my baccalaureate exam, it was always medicine. And something happened when I got the results. I don't know, not the results, but like the choices. Like after you got your result, they give you like a lot of options, like universities and like.
Yeah, and you have to pick.
And I don't know, like.
What happened?
What happened?
You were like teeth. You're like teeth.
It's like teeth, right? It's like it's like I don't know what really happened. So it's like a switch between medicine and dentistry. So I didn't have a lot of expectations because I've never thought about it before. But the thing that I like the most is that, like, if like to go to medical school, you gotta be like ranked like top of the class, and everybody like from my school did dentistry. Like for no apparent reason, like
Oh
we
my
ended up
God.
to, like in the same class.
Together?
So together, so for me, I didn't move from Wahdan. It's like I stayed in Wahdan.
Yeah,
So
Why would you move?
why would you move?
Why would you
Yeah.
So like a lot of like 1, 2, 3, but like maybe like 3 or 4 friends of mine were all really there. So,
Oh, that's so cool.
so it didn't feel really new or something.
Sure.
On like first days, it's like first day of college, like literally medical school is like classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classes.
Yeah.
Sounds like really terrifying.
Sure.
But like after like a couple of years, it's like
Yeah.
fine.
This is the normal.
Yeah.
This is the normal.
Yeah.
That's nothing
Sure.
terrifying about that. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's nice. If you could like describe your college experience in one word, what word would
Exhausting.
you use? Yeah.
For me.
Exhausting for you.
Yeah.
Say more.
I don't know. Another.
I
It's
like
not
your
a stereo-
positivity,
It's
guys.
not a stereotype. it's a fact. We used to have so many tests, so many exams. Like we could sometimes we had like in the morning we have a test, like a written test, then we go to the clinic. It's an oral test, then we go, then have like another exam.
This
It's like
is not it
a
for me.
lot.
I'm already taking a nap. I'm so sorry.
But for me, like when we started going to the clinic, to the hospital, like interacting with patients, and that's something that I really liked, and it made me kind of love the specialty because before I didn't. So, but it was a little bit exhausting, but overall fruitful. I
Interesting.
learned a lot.
Well, it's hard for me because I went to undergrad, which is what I think you would usually call university here. I don't know how it works because so it's like undergrad. It was just like my first like bachelor's. Okay. Then I did a master's in linguistics, and then I did another master's in education. So like those were 3 very different experiences. So I would say like undergrad, it was like also exhausting. Like I think it was exhausting for me because it was like not only it's so many life transitions, you know, like I moved away from my parents. I was like trying to figure out who I was. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to major in, you know, and like it was just a lot. And it was 4 years for me, and it was a long time. I don't know. It
Undergrad.
was
4 years.
for undergrad. Then for my master's in linguistics, that was sort of spontaneous, like that I did that program, and it was amazing. It changed my life. So I would say that was like, I don't even know. I think that was, what word would I use to describe? Because it was just, I loved it so much. It was so fun. I don't know. Maybe I would say fun. It was like fun for me. I was like learning all these things. I was teaching. I was like exploring. All of my classmates were from all over the world. It was an applied linguistics degree. So I specialized in like, it was like TEFL and, you know, like, it was great. It was amazing. CAL, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, it's like computer assisted language learning, lots of different types of language learning, and it was just amazing. And then my master's in education, I was teaching in like public schools and taking classes at the same time. So that was like, I would say that was, I don't even know how to describe that. It was like invigorating maybe, like, because it was so exhausting. I was like working full-time and taking classes full-time, but it was also just like my classmates were incredible. We were working with really like underserved populations in the US, like pretty, yeah, like just like, I don't know. Yeah, it was just like really great experience. So I think very different, especially as you get older. Education is very different.
The only experience that I would describe as like beautiful, maybe like last year, it's like we have our internship. We choose 2 internships. I've done one in the military hospital and another one in orthodontics. It was beautiful. Also beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was like no tests, no exams, just like patients who
that's so nice.
practiced, and it was beautiful. I really loved that experience. So that was like the
So
best
just
year
have to
over.
practice.
Yeah, and
That's
everybody would
great.
like treat you as a doctor, not as a
that's
student,
great.
and it was really, really beautiful. I loved it.
That's cool.
But before exhausting, before that was
Oh
exhausting.
yeah, of course. Don't you think society is putting pressure on people, on students, because you have to choose your major when you are 18, and you have to know like what are you doing with your life.
Sure. Yeah.
In your 20s.
Sure.
It's a little bit different from the US, I guess, because like you have the kind of like space where like undergrad really.
No, I do feel like we still have that pressure, especially because in the US we do have to take out student loans oftentimes, so you're paying so much money. So there is a lot of pressure to know what you're going to do. But I don't know. I personally, like, I've had 3 different majors across 3 different degrees. And so now I felt so much pressure when I was 18 and when, like, 18 to 22 during undergrad. But now I know, like, you have time. Like, you have time. You can change your mind. If it's not the right thing, like, you can change your mind. So I do think it's too much pressure early on. And at the same time, like, I always tell people, like, you do have time, though. But it's a lot. I think it's like such a huge life transition. I don't know. Yeah.
Because most people are so afraid of changing like their majors.
Sure.
As if they like. If they committed to this major.
True. It's like the difference. It's like we don't have that kind of thank God, like that kind of financial.
Yeah.
Oh
my! I tell my students that here. I'm like, you guys.
Yeah, financial burden is like you can't.
Yeah.
You would even if the. Whatever you're majoring in is difficult, you'll be always like overthinking the money. So it's like even more pressure. Here it's like, for example, she's like when you get your baccalaureate, you gotta choose a specialty. It's like that's what you're gonna do for the rest of the.
And you can't change it.
Not really. Not in, for example, I don't know. Me, if I was doing dentistry, it's like in the middle.
A lot of things.
Oh, it's very difficult.
It's really difficult to change the major. For example, in the US, I guess like I believe, for example, people to do medicine, you gotta go like through undergrad, then you'll go to do medicine, dentistry, or pharmacy, and stuff. Here, no, it's like for example, you have once you're in, you gotta finish the 6 years.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, or
so
7 years.
A lot of pressure
that's also a lot of pressure. But you said like some people are afraid of changing majors, but I think people now are more aware. There is more, I don't know, awareness about like you should be doing the thing that you love, not the thing that maybe you've chosen when you were like a baby, because like 18, you're just a kid. People now do change. I've taught a pharmacy, like now she's an English student. She did I guess 3-4 years pharmacy, and she was like,
not it.
This is not me. I don't like it. Just she stopped and now she's doing English and she's really happy about it. So.
I've always felt like I'm a person who's interested in so many things, and I always was kind of jealous of people who knew exactly what they wanted to do when they were like 10. You know, like I'm gonna be I don't know, and so I recently read something where it was like those of us who, you know, are interested in so many things and have so many paths, it was like, no, people who know exactly what they want to do from a young age, it's like that's their burden. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. You know, because I thought, wow, it is like a gift to be interested in so many things.
Because you can try like so many things.
Imagine disappointment. Imagine the disappointment if you don't get what you want.
That's true.
Not what you want was like, this is something that you fixated your mind and thoughts on. It's like, I want to be this and only this. And you said like someone, and this is, for me, I think, it's not the children's or the students' fault. We don't have a lot of awareness about like choices, life choices. So even like in high school, we are supposed to have some orientation classes. Is like these are your options. For example, me, I've never heard of dentistry before. It's like as a specialty or something. I know that dentists existed. I knew that pharmacists existed, but it was never an option. So it took me. But after I got the result and I started doing research, and it's like, I might like this. I can get interested in this.
Yeah, for sure.
So if people got the chance and got the right orientation before
to know more about like everything,
the choices, that could help a lot of people.
I agree though, like when you're 18, your frontal cortex isn't fully formed. You should not be making lifelong decisions at that time. But that's interesting that it is harder to change here, because in the US it's like very easy. You can change your major in a day. go, you know, but you might have to study for longer, which means more money you have to pay. So, yeah.
So if you could like meet Kelley, the student, what advice would you give her?
Myself?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I think I would tell her, listen to your heart, listen to your instincts, because I think I knew. I studied writing when I was in undergrad, but I really wanted to study education. And the school I was at had like an amazing writing program, like really like nationally ranked one. And I felt like that was important at the time. And there were other things too. Like, I don't know. I just was so swayed by like other people's opinions that I had a hard time listening to myself. So I think I would tell her, listen to yourself. Yeah. And follow your heart, for sure. Yeah.
Same for Fethi?
For me, I guess I was lucky enough to be doing a lot of things while I was a student. Like, because like most of my fellow colleagues, they were all like focused on like getting like good grades and good grades only. And I would definitely advise myself as like on taking it easy, not to overthink, because like it's not really worth it. That kind of like, I don't know, mental pressure. It is not. It's just like it's not worth it. So just like move on.
What were you overthinking? If I can ask.
I had like a lot of drama happening, and like I guess my fourth year, it really affected me. I was not included, but it affected my education. I started overthinking a lot, and it was not the best time.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, like, it ended.
It wasn't worth it.
It ended, so.
Yeah, I think I would also tell myself like, it's okay, like you're doing the best you can.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't know. I look back on myself when I was younger, and I made mistakes, but I like wouldn't change them. Like it's like I did the best I could with what I had at the time, and like it's okay. Like I'm here now.
You learn a lot also,
I walk around. I'm like I'm in North Africa right now. You know, like somehow I'm here doing something that is like so fulfilling for me now. So I think. I don't know. I'd just be like, "You're doing good. Like it's okay.
She
You'll
went
be
to
fine."
Coffee Galo, the beach. It's like the beautiful beach.
Yeah. But if I could like be myself back, I'd be like, "Hey, you're good. Like you'll be okay." You know. So.
Let's talk about your experience in Algeria. Let's talk about your expectations, like before coming to Algeria.
Okay. I try to get as much information as possible. This is my thing. Like, if I don't know, I'm like, give me all the information. Because so few people had been here. Like, for this job, I had to interview with the embassy, but it was the embassy in Rabat. Well, I interviewed with the embassy in Rabat. My boss works there. And then I interviewed with the embassy here. And they just wanted to make sure it's a good fit, you know? And but because of the pandemic, most people hadn't. I think no one I interviewed with at the time some of them had never been to Algeria because of like visa, like COVID stuff, and some of them had never been. Nobody had been to Oran, so I was like, you guys expect me to like uproot my entire life and move here? Like I need more information.
I know.
Yeah. So I did as much Googling as I could. I like talked to prior Fulbright people and some people who'd been here. I like read on the Reddit, Algeria Reddit, like thank you because there's a lot of information, but I think I don't know, I didn't know what exactly to expect, but you know, so I didn't know exactly what to expect. Everyone said, so when I lived in DC before I came here, and I had to go to the Algerian embassy to get my visa. And it was kind of like everybody was stressed out about it because it's like a big deal to get a visa. And when I went, there was like this very old man who was the security guard. And then there was this other guy who was helping me with my visa. And they all like came in. We all like sat and talked. It was very Algerian. You know, we're all sitting in this like little sitting room. And the guy who was the security guard used to teach at ONS, at the school I now teach at. And the other guy was like, oh, you're going to love Oran, you know? And so I felt really excited. Everyone was like, Oran is the best. Like, I mean, yeah, everyone was really excited for me. So I think I expected that it would be like a very welcoming experience. And I was just like really open and excited. I don't know, but what were my expectations? I don't know. We've talked about this before, but I don't know. I think I expected like some things to be different than what I was used to, but also I think the people, from what I can tell, seem really welcoming. And so I was like, just expect to not the unexpected. Maybe expect the unexpected. Expect that, like, you know, just like I knew I wasn't gonna know everything. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Even if you got like a lot of information about the country or the culture, it's not really as accurate as being in the...
Because when you come here, it's different.
Yeah,
it's a different world. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting when I think about how I prepared, okay? It's ridiculous. If you guys came to my apartment, I would show you my closet, which is a pharmacy, okay? I brought so much skincare with me. That was my way to control my life at the time. Like, even my boss, she was like, Kelley, you know they have shampoo there. And I was like, but not my shampoo. Okay? And so, like, I was like, okay, this is what I can control. But then I knew, like, I wasn't worried about food at all. Because I was like, oh, I know the food is going to be amazing. And I was right. But actually, I'm like, yeah, when I'm returning for another year. And so I'm going to go back. And I'm like, I'm not going to bring shampoo this time. Like, I do know that there's shampoo. Like, obviously, I knew that. But it was like...
But it was something, as you said, like you could have controlled.
Sure, it was just the way that
like you can control everything.
Yeah. But I knew that the food was going to be good. That was what I was. Yeah. So it's interesting looking back now, and I'm like, yeah, I was right about the food for sure. That was one thing. Yeah.
Especially in Wuhan, I believe that we have
my God.
one of the best food.
So good.
Like,
yes. What's your favorite Algerian food?
This
is a hard question.
Okay, I've had berkoukis one time, and I have begged people to give me berkoukis, okay? But I loved it. I loved it so much. But I mean, like, Karantika, I can't.
Yeah,
that's like, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was Karantika, and then you said berkoukis.
I know. But, like, you know, there's different. It's like, berkoukis is like a meal.
Yeah.
Karantika is like...
snack.
Yeah, even though I would eat it as a meal also.
Eat it as a meal.
And I love sardines, the like grilled sardines and the salad.
We get them in Belar. It's like at like an authentic place.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So the salad.
Yeah, and frites omelette. I'm sorry, I love everything. And the ice cream here is really good. It really is. Yeah. You know, and
coming from someone who used to live in Ohio,
a big
compliment.
Okay, all of you, add to your TikToks about Ohio. We have really good ice cream. Okay, that's like the one thing that we have. We have other things too. Okay, everybody, please don't be mad at me, all my Ohioans who are listening. But. No, the ice cream here is really good, and the pizza is really good here. Like the crust, I'm like it's really always good. Like anyway, so but I think I would if I could choose one thing. I don't want to choose one thing.
So,
but
don't choose.
Don't choose. But yeah, I'm not gonna choose.
You can choose them all. Like
the bread.
Select all.
The bread. Yeah, select all. All of the above. It's so good. It's amazing.
So basically, next question is for Fethi.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, like, why is volunteering so important to you?
Okay. If I start talking about volunteering, it's gonna take us days now, because it's something that I spent maybe 6 years of my life doing. I would say I always try to say that I try so hard to provide opportunities and chances for people, for Algerian youth.
Yeah.
Because when I were, for example, I don't know, 18, 19, I didn't have these kind of chances, opportunities. So I always try to work hard to provide these kind of experiences and chances, spaces for people to, and it's really, I don't know, fulfilling. I don't know, just like to see them, to see people like learn, for example, I've managed and organized I don't know, like over 30 projects and engage like more than like 7,000 Algerians. So to see them, I don't know, learning, participating, changing, and by the end you find out like they are the one trying to, you know, like fill in the circle.
The cycle continues.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel really proud. I feel really fulfilled, and it's just like that kind of feeling. So yeah, that's why I love volunteering, and I don't think I'm gonna stop volunteering. I'm not really volunteering a lot these years because I'm trying to focus more on the professional side of my life, but I will never stop volunteering. It's something so beautiful, and I'm so happy that Algeria is finally embracing the real volunteering, because once we're learning over embassy, when we were having a discussion about, it was back in 2018 or 19, we had like a different understanding of volunteering where it's like charity is volunteering for us Algerians, but it's way more than that. So being able to spread awareness, work on the sustainable development goals, it was life changing for me. It changed me in so many like aspects, and I'm so happy that people could contribute and I don't know, to the community and society. So yeah,
that's great. So how was like your experience at the American Corner Oran?
I joined the ACU back in 2016, and I started as a member. I was in the advanced English class. It was really beautiful, and it didn't take me that long. Where it's like, I want to be this person. I want to be this. I want to volunteer here, and I've had great experiences. It was like a fruitful experience. It was not a perfect experience. I don't believe in perfect experiences. Ups and downs, but overall I had the chance to engage with a lot of volunteers that I'm still in touch with. I've worked with some incredible people, like I've got the chance to meet international people, writers, ambassadors, and American fellows also. So always grateful for that experience. I learned a lot, and I was also in English. I was a conversation teacher, and it was my first time teaching. I don't think that I was perfect. With ACO, yeah, but...
I'm sorry, are you saying you weren't perfect?
I think...
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm trying to stay humble. No, joking. Obviously, it was my first experience. I don't believe that I was the perfect teacher, like, in the world, but, like, it helped me grow as a teacher. I learned a lot about teaching and facilitating. And it got me, like, after less than a year, I was teaching in Tunisia, then I came back here in Algeria, and I was taken by an international company, like, international school. And so I always reflect on my previous experiences, and I'm always grateful.
It opens doors for you.
It does. Volunteering does open doors for you, and ACO was part of my experience, and forever grateful.
Do you guys think that people need to go out of their comfort zone, or it's called comfort zone for a reason?
I mean, I think that it's really important to have places where people can stretch themselves. So I think it's like important to have spaces where they feel comfortable enough to enter, but then they are pushed farther. So I think if people are pushed too hard too fast, like it's too much, like it's not successful. But I think it's very important to have spaces where people feel like they're being stretched and challenged, like with the skills that they already have. So I don't know, personally for me, and I definitely know for my students, like that is essential, finding that that area of like where they are within, but like you push them a little bit beyond.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Because you need a push.
But like depending on the push, as she said, you can be pushing yourself so hard. You can be like, for example, a lot of people don't believe it, but I used to be kind of an introvert.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't talk a lot.
It's a really funny joke.
It's a funny joke. I know. I was really like, calm. I was the calmest in the family. Everybody was like, yeah, but he's so calm. I was like, not anymore. Not anymore.
I think you're still a calm person, but...
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So, I do believe that people should challenge themselves,
Mhm.
and I don't know, if you want to grow
Mhm.
personally and professionally,
Mhm.
you need to take a step out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
Don't run.
Yeah, of
Mhm.
course. Just
It's
a
like
baby step.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby step,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Sure.
you'll be there.
Yeah.
Surely.
It's called the zone of proximal development, if you're
Yes.
familiar. So it's like, it's like within the zone of your
Mhm.
ability.
And I believe, like, whatever, for example, me, let's say I was a dental student, then that was started becoming my comfort zone. Then I joined ACO, then it became my comfort zone.
Mhm.
Then you see,
Yeah.
whenever you go out of your
So
comfort zone and
true.
start doing something,
Yeah.
a
You
comfort
find
zone
something
will
new.
be
Yeah.
created
Yeah,
around you.
it's so
So you just need to be
true.
aware of that. You gotta
Mhm.
reflect on that.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong
Mhm.
if that's you and you wanna stay
Mhm.
there,
Mhm.
and you don't want to do more. That's
Mhm.
totally okay.
Right.
But always remember that whatever you do something and you keep doing it for
Mhm.
so long, it becomes somehow a
Comfort
new
zone,
comfort
yeah.
zone.
Right. It's so true.
Do you think like there is a right time to get out of your comfort zone?
I think so, yeah.
Mhm.
For me personally, I think it's very personal for everyone.
Mhm.
But there have been times when it was like for years. Like for instance, even coming here,
Mhm.
for years I knew that I wanted to do this like fellow program.
Mhm.
And I thought about it since like maybe let's see, it was during the second year of my first master's in linguistics. So that was, I think it was probably in 2016 when I first was like, okay, maybe one day I'll do this.
Mhm.
And
When?
in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
but
is
then
like-
I was like, maybe I'll work in the public schools, and then
Mhm.
I was like, okay, now I just like suddenly was ready. I don't know. For me, it's
Mhm.
like it's a lot of like
Mhm.
build up for me
Yeah.
for like
Mhm.
big challenges.
Mhm.
So I definitely think there's a right time, but it's just so particular.
It depends on
it
the
depends on the
person, yeah.
person.
Mhm.
Sure, yeah.
But as she said, it's really important to think about it,
Mhm.
because it will not happen like out of a sudden.
Yeah,
You
of
won't be like
course.
sitting and it's like,
Yeah.
I just like, something changes in your
Mhm.
life. But she's been
Yeah.
thinking about this position,
Uh-huh.
so her mind
Mhm.
knows that
Mhm.
there might be a change.
Yeah.
So I believe like once you start thinking about it, then when time comes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you'll be ready for that kind of change. But
Mhm.
for me, let's say I'm also an access teacher, so I had
Mhm.
the chance, the honor, and to teach high schoolers from, I don't know, financially disadvantaged,
Mhm.
let's say, backgrounds. And the 2 years of the micro scholarship was a life-changing experience for them, and they got the chance to get out of their comfort zone. I was gonna
Mhm.
say, people like after they got the baccalaureate exam where they go to university, you gotta start changing or getting out of your
Yeah.
comfort zone, but it doesn't really have like a timeline.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just like it
Yeah.
depends
So
on
true.
Yeah.
depends on the person, it depends
Mhm.
on the time, the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why maybe try to get involved in new experiences, and let's say the environment will help you
Mhm.
step outside of
And
the
I
Yeah.
think there are like times, I mean, it's like depends on so many things. Like there are challenges you choose and challenges you don't.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes like
Yeah.
you're given
Mhm.
challenges that you did not ask for and did
Yeah.
not want.
Yeah.
You know, and I think too, it's like for me, it's a lot of it has been about community and being surrounded by people who really support me. And sometimes I
Mhm.
wasn't ready until I had the right people around me.
Mhm. Yeah. that's
So I think it's okay to like not be ready for something until you're ready, you know,
Mhm.
and like to ask for help if you need it, and to just like
Mhm.
wait until it's the right time if you
Mhm.
can, and if you can't, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like I think there's no shame in asking for help. And,
Yeah. Mhm.
you
But
know,
you said something really great, which is like you gotta have the right people, you gotta
Yeah.
have the right support system.
You.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can't be surrounded by like people who
Uh-huh.
don't
Yeah.
really give a
Uh-huh.
heck about,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
personal development or professional
Yeah.
development,
Yeah.
and you expect yourself
Uh-huh.
to
Mhm.
grow.
yeah,
So
And
be,
it influences you like.
Yeah,
obviously,
for
so
sure.
make sure
Mhm.
this you're not being selfish or anything.
Mhm.
You're just like
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Mhm.
really want to grow, so you gotta look for people who
Yeah.
would
Will
help you
support
grow.
Yeah.
and I think that's what's such a great thing about the ACO and about
Uh-huh.
similar
Mhm.
volunteer
Yeah.
organizations here in Algeria is like
Mhm.
it provides spaces for people to be surrounded by really good people and to find their people, you know, so yeah.
So if you could like give advice to students who are watching or listening to the podcast, what advice would you give?
Study hard. Grades are cool, but it's not all about the grades.
Yeah.
So go discover yourself. There are so many, most of the things, not so many, most of the things about life they're not going to teach you in school, especially university.
Yeah.
So make sure that you go and look for these opportunities and these experiences.
Yeah.
They don't teach you about money. Go learn about
Yeah,
money.
sure.
They don't teach you about public speaking.
Yeah,
Go, I don't know,
And
do
speak in public.
like get involved in a scientific club, university club,
Yeah,
or an
yeah, yeah.
association. Come to the American Quarter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
life is more than classes or
Yeah.
grades. Like, make sure that if for example, whatever you're studying is something that you're really passionate about, make sure that you are doing it for the right reasons. But at the same time, try to grow also at the same time outside
of it.
outside university
Yeah.
or school. Or,
I think I would say that being a student is a very particular and unique time in your life that you won't have again. And so I would say two things. Like, you do have time, so it's okay. Like, if you don't know, you haven't figured everything out, that's totally normal. But also know that this is a special time. Like, it's fun to have a time when you don't know everything, when everything isn't figured out. Like, at some point, your life will be more solid and secure, and you won't have the opportunity to like make different choices. And so this is like an exciting time, even if it's very stressful. That it's totally true. It is very stressful sometimes, but just like enjoy this special time that you have. And also, I think Algeria, I imagine maybe Algerian students will be listening to this more than others. I don't know. And so I think, like, just from an outside perspective, Algeria has a lot to offer. If you want to get involved, if you want to do things like coming to the ACO or being in different student organizations, like, it's like the students, the people who work really hard here, you can really achieve your dreams, I think. It's like, I think it's a very special place. Like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, there are people doing amazing things. So I think, like, just use this time to do what you really love, and I think you will be successful. Like, you have a lot of opportunities here. So I hope that's helpful. I don't know.
Okay, last question. 3 beautiful things in life.
I'd say, can we go like 3?
Yeah, the easiest way.
People. I'd say people. Not everybody though.
Of course.
But it is
So true.
beautiful
Yes.
to be surrounded by supportive people. So,
I agree, especially Algerian people. I felt at home.
you.
You're welcome. I felt so at home here so fast because of the people. So I agree that the people are incredible. The people make the place, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. I want to say coffee. I want to say coffee.
Coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee.
I know our podcast is about tea, but it's
Fun fact is
love
like
coffee.
we do love coffee.
Yeah.
Me too, I love coffee.
But it just like felt right to call the podcast
Latte Mala.
Latte Malasap. So
It's for the culture, okay? But we also love the coffee.
Yeah.
So, coffee is like, you know, brings us together. That's like, we met drinking coffee.
we met drinking coffee.
Yeah, I'm thinking about coffee right now.
Food.
Food, yeah.
Number 3, food.
People, coffee. I don't know. Beautiful things. I want to say, like, I mean, this is like so specific. Maybe it's like basic. Maybe it's
add,
basic.
like, as you
Okay,
want.
but like the sunrises and sunsets here are unmatched. Okay, I know I haven't been to Janet yet. Okay, guys, but like even here, just it's so beautiful. I feel like the nature here in Algeria is just incredible. So it's just wow.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's people,
coffee,
and nature.
Nature.
Oh, that's great.
And food.
And food.
And food. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Kelley. Thank you, Fethi, for coming. I had so much fun. It was
Thank you. We also had
entertaining
so
to
much
you.
fun.
Sahiti.
She's like Sahiti.
Yeah, speaking of
Oh
in
yeah. Oh
It's
god.
like, yeah, speaking this, it's like
شكراً.
spotlight.
بنينا بزاف. أروى.
حلوة حلوة. Yeah.
شوية. I don't know what else do I know how to say.
Order Kerentika.
Yeah, order
أعطني
Kerentika,
كرنتيكا. أعطني ترانت ميلك.
Kerentika. She's always like, "Atene, don't be
You
Kerentika."
have to add something at the end.
Okay, but I forget how to say like.
Khalik.
Yeah.
Like khalik.
Yes.
But like how do I say avec like or with? How do you say mao? How do you say a cumin?
Come on.
S'il vous plaît.
No, you can
Shukran.
order.
Now it's like, yeah. We did not tell you once she ordered frites omelette, and she's like texting us on WhatsApp. It's like, guys, we had like
An event.
and we had to go there early to prepare. I was like, guys, are you hungry? She's like, yeah, we are. She's like, do you want to get frites omelette? And I was like,
how much? What do you want on
like,
it?
how much? What do you want to
Do you want mayo? Do you want chorizo?
Really, Kelly? And she really brought us like
I brought
frites omelette,
it,
like
yeah.
a salad and so on.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Wait, mao. Wait, what's with mao? Sherbet.
Not sherbet,
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching the podcast and listening on Spotify. Thank you.
Yeah, please follow us. You can find us at Latte Malashab on Instagram and Spotify.
And we've already posted 3 episodes, so make sure to go there, follow us, and listen, and tell us what you think. And we've also asked our followers to tell us what kind of topics that you want me to teach, Kelly.
Sure.
Culture related. Thank you, everybody.
And we have a WhatsApp number too. People
Yeah.
can call in and tell us about your experience with Darija, how you feel about Darija. We're gonna feature some audio clips on our podcast sometimes, and you can tell me what words and phrases you want me to learn. So,
we had so many people send us like words, and please tell us if you know, for example, if it's like a Spanish word or an American word or a French word. Tell us the origin of the word, because we're really interested to get to know the story behind every single word and expression.
Sure, yeah. So we look forward to having you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And can we be like closing the episode?
Episode.
Nshufukam.
Nshufukam episode Jaya.
Yay!